Alright guys, so we are back with another one today. Today we have a shoe that you might not even know released at all. They kind of flew completely under the radar for most sneakerheads and even normies alike because they're not a very hyped up shoe, but there is a few things about them that definitely make them worthy of making a video on. And like I always say in every video, not every single shoe has to be the same level of hype and the most hyped shoe on the planet. Sometimes you just need a nice clean pair to do a review on, or just to rock them and beat the hell out of them, or whatever you want to do with them. So in it today we have the Nike Air Force One Terror Squad. The main selling point about these is that they are the OG Air Force One, and OG and Air Force One are two words that you usually don't really hear being used all that often, but believe it or not, the Air Force One is very, very much an OG Nike shoe. It's one of the original greats, one of the most popular and famous Nikes of all time ever. And the Air Force One that you buy from the Nike store is actually not the 1982 OG pair. It's a updated version. So the person who made this shoe famous or popular was named Fat Joe. He had a huge collection, mainly of Air Force Ones, because he just overall loved the Air Force One. He loved shoes. He was very, very passionate about collecting as a whole, and he definitely had a great selection. So eventually Nike gave him a F&F version of this exact shoe, but they finally released it to the public many, many years down the road. So it is definitely a big moment for some OG heads in the game, but overall people don't really know what these are. So let me see if I can tell you guys some more details. Let's take a look at the box here. This is actually a regular OG Nike box. So this is kind of an old school vintage looking box. You got the orange and the brown, kind of like the OG Nike Dunk boxes. This is the size label on the side. There's really nothing too special about the box, but it is a box that we really don't see Nike bringing out all that much. So let's hop into the details on the shoe itself. This is the black and white pair, kind of like almost a panda colorway. I think these are a great alternative to the Panda Dunks just because they are not going to be as heavily worn by the masses as the Pandas. So if you want a Panda but you want to stand out, maybe you prefer Air Forces, think they're a little bit more comfortable, this is definitely a shoe that you probably will really, really like. I mean, they're not going for a lot either. The retail is $140, which is kind of a lot for an Air Force, but they are not going too much over retail on the aftermarket, so you can definitely get them for the cheap. So on the lateral side, we got like a black and white. If you really look at the shoe itself, it kind of looks like the Off-White Louis Vuittons, like, even though that sounds so weird because that's like the most expensive shoe on the market and these are like very cheap. It's got a similar color scheme. So it's got the black and the white as opposed to like the green or the red that the Off-Whites have, but overall a pretty classic color blocking. I don't really know what to call it, but it's definitely not an all white Air Force One. It's more less basic and more clean, I guess you can say. It's just like a very contrasting, crispy pair. You got the Air as you usually do. You got the Terror Squad logo on the back right there, which is really the only thing distinguishing this from a non-collab Air Force. You even just got Nike Air Force on the tongue right there, Nike Air Force One. On the back you also got the TS kind of in a different font, but it still means the same thing, Terror Squad. As I said, Fat Joe was a part of that squad, and he really, really liked the shoe. He wore it a lot. On the medial side of the shoe, you really just got the same deal, nothing to write home about. On the inside, one thing to note is that these do definitely fit big. Like you could tell the opening for the shoe is really big. Like you can really get your foot pretty good in there. And it does say Nike Air inside there, but you can tell this is a shoe that fits big. So if you like that big fit, go through the size, but if not, probably go down a half size is what I would say. So on the bottom you got the black bottom, which definitely isn't going to get dirty that quickly, so that's good. It kind of looks like a Chicago colorway, I want to say, but just in black, which is basically what the Panda is. Quality wise, pretty stiff leather, pretty characteristic for a Nike Air Force. Let's take a look at the other shoe, just for comparison's sake. You got some white and black laces. The white come pre-laced. I think the white matched this shoe a lot better overall. Same terror squad, exact same shoe. One detail that I didn't mention yet is that on the lace lock, I guess you can call it, it does say AF182 right there, which is like an OG touch. Most Air Forces don't have that. That's pretty cool in my opinion. In terms of quality control, I don't really see any problems, but again, they are a mass-produced Air Force One, so definitely nothing to write home about quality control-wise. There's just nothing great about them, but they're not horrible either. They're a good pair to beat, as I already mentioned in the past. But my voice is going out already, as you can tell. That's probably a good sign to end it off here. Not the longest video, but these are not a shoe that I can talk that much about. If you want them, get them. They're pretty cheap. They're probably around $160, $170 on the aftermarket. Really no profit to be made, so if you want them, pick them up. I did a lot of videos this weekend, so make sure to leave me a like down below. I never asked for likes, but it really was a lot of effort to make all these videos. Still gotta edit them and everything, so hope you guys are appreciating. Thank you all for the continued support through this brief hiatus, and I'll see you all later. Peace.